Welcome to another episode of the VIC FIX. And today we have a true powerhouse in the studio. Someone who has not just dominated the nightlife, but also transitioned into becoming a successful entrepreneur. Starting his journey in 1998 with his first residency at TGIF in Bangalore, he quickly moved up the ranks, bringing Bollywood nights to Bangalore with the legendary Zero G nights. Moving on to venues like F Bar and Shiro, wherein he set trends that defined Bangalore's partying culture. Not just a DJ, but also a visionary, he founded Entertainment 9, bringing in club residencies and contracts to DJs at a point when this was non-existent. From there, he's moved on to making waves in the hospitality industry, launching two extremely successful venues, Miko's and Gulp. Get ready for an unforgettable conversation with the one and only DJ Ganesh. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you on the VIC
It is
FIX.
a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So let's get started right away. We have a list of questions that we have outlined for you.
Done.
So, what sparked your DJing interest back in 1998?
So this is quite interesting when this all started. My brother used to go out a lot, and in those days this westernized culture was not too much in. But then they were into concerts and this and that.
Yeah.
Typical college goers.
Yeah.
So there was one criteria where he was supposed to step out, and there was a obligation where my dad said, no, you go out. If you can take him also along, you go and finish your studies wherever you're going.
Okay.
So I jumped in. I said, "Oh, right, let's see where these guys are taking me."
Yeah.
And all that. I was all excited.
Okay.
So to my surprise, I was taken to Diana King show, 1995 at Big Banyan Tree.
Oh, wow.
The
Okay.
first time in my life, I am seeing something like this.
Right.
So I went in, I saw this such a vibe, such a humongous crowd around, and people are just shouting at one person. I
Yeah.
was trying to understand what is this all about?
Yeah, trying to process everything.
I have heard all that during my childhood days, but
Right.
then Diana King was something new to me. I'm like, oh, this is something. And then I like the whole idea of westernized culture. So that's how it just started growing into me, saying that I
Okay.
want to listen to this music. I
Right.
want to study about this artist.
Yeah.
So I started researching. I mean, that time there was no
Yeah,
internet and all
exactly.
that.
Exactly.
So a friend of my brother, he used to shuttle a back from London.
London. Okay.
So they used to get those CDs and all that. They
Yeah.
used to listen to that. So
Right.
Shaggy and all that was very big there.
Correct.
So every time he went out, I was quite excited to accompany him. So he also kind of encouraged me in that, saying, when I'm going out, you come, you can
Right.
join. Don't tell your dad. And that's how it all grew into me. And then eventually I wanted to explore more. And slowly that's how I got into DJing.
Got it. Did you have any formal training? Did you learn DJing
Not at all,
formally?
not at all.
Wow.
So
Okay.
here's another story of that. I mean,
Yeah.
so back in days, there was no teacher, there was no schools. So
Right.
it's all cassette players.
Yeah.
Play, pause.
Correct.
So luckily, there was a student from Saudi who was studying in Ramaya College, who was a doctor. So he, by hobby, he was a DJ. Through my circle of friends,
Huh.
I got introduced to one of the doctors, and he said that this guy is into DJing. Why didn't you talk to him? To my surprise, he had a Denon console. And those days, Denon was very hard to come by.
Right, yeah.
Denon 4.5 or something. Same thing. Play, pause, and just pitch button plus
Correct.
minus. There's nothing
Yeah,
else in that.
yeah.
So that's my first time. I'm
Okay.
seeing this equipment,
Right.
and I met this guy. He used to live out of Nagar.
Huh.
So he's a student,
Yeah.
and he used to do it as a hobby, and he was into trance, hardcore
Yeah.
student.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's when I first saw the Denon equipment.
Okay.
So till then it was always, I used to go to clubs, some club bars, play, pause,
Yeah,
one used
on
to
the
rewind
tape,
it,
rewind.
and
Yeah.
all this used to happen.
Yeah.
So I used to see this. Then slowly, I started getting into this whole idea of DJing.
Right.
So
Right.
that's when I spoke to him and said, "Can I use this, or can you help me understand this machine?"
Okay.
So what used to happen? I was so interested in that, and
Yeah.
then he shifted it to another room.
Okay.
It was a 2 BHK kind of a setup he had.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
small room where he used it as a study, but then he shifted the whole console there.
Okay.
I asked him if I can use this
Yeah.
and come in on a regular basis
Regular-
and
yeah, and
play-
practice. Yeah.
he allowed. He was very
Yeah.
kind and he
Wow.
allowed. So that's how it all started. So I used to go every day, pick up my bike, and college used to start, and I used to put attendance and straight head there.
No, RX. Yeah.
No, even before RX, I had my dad's Samurai. I'm talking about 1998,
Yeah.
almost 97, 98, around that era.
Right.
I used to just understand what he has told me and just
Practice.
practice
Yeah.
that same thing.
Yeah.
It was sounding funny, but I said, okay, maybe this is right. And I just
Yeah.
continue. From mornings when I used to go in for my practice, eventually maybe about few months, he said, okay, come in the evening now.
Huh.
I can help you out for an hour.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
the first thing started. Then I
Yeah.
heard about the bar and blah.
Yeah.
The whole thing of DJing era
Got it.
started there.
Yeah.
Because absolutely, because my dad and his circle, his club circle, and all, they all used to love retro music, and
Yeah.
there was party goers.
Yeah.
He used to be a part of most of these circuits,
Okay.
and they used to
Okay.
all hang out every weekend, and they used to have their own scenes and all
Yeah.
that those days.
No, I think that also explains why you have such a good hold on retro
Retro,
music,
yeah,
right? Because
yes,
it's one of your
yeah.
fortes.
Right.
Okay, so how did your first residency happen then in TGIF? Yeah.
That's another story to tell. So there was this Nepali Lama. He used to come meet Bilal for some reasons, and then
Right.
they used to chit chat and
Yeah.
they used to leave. So one day he came up to me. He said, "How's your DJing going on?" I said, "Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying my best, which is very frustrating."
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I gave all my curses over
Yeah.
DJing. Then I said, "Yeah, I'm holding on to it." He said,
Yeah.
"Are you ready to take up a place?" He said, "I'm not sure, but I can try."
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said, I mean, that time, the advantage is I had the music with me because I used to use Bilal's Case Logic. He had the
Yeah.
proper setup, but only
Superb.
trance. Then I kind of mixed my thing with it, and I used to.
Yeah.
So I knew my set now. So I
Yeah.
know what to play for
Yeah.
an half an hour, 40
Yeah.
minutes. I know what to play, where to
Yeah.
take and play.
Yeah.
He said, I have an offer.
Okay.
So he said, there's a place called TGIF. Why don't you come
Yeah.
and meet me there?
Yeah.
And then I met this GM there called Anshuman Malik, first GM apparently. And he said, what's your name? I said, Ganesh. No. Then in my CD, it was written DJ Grazy that time.
Okay,
So another friend called Rahul,
Yeah.
who's also a DJ. So he named me that saying, you know Ganesh, keep it
Yeah.
very fun,
Funky.
very
Yeah.
different, very westernized,
Yeah.
crazy. I said, I don't even understand that, but okay, let's go with the
Yeah.
flow, whatever works.
Yeah.
And then he saw the CD case. What is Grazy and what is Ganesh? I said, Ganesh is my name, but
Yeah.
some friends call me
Yeah.
Grazy. He said, have you done DJing before? I said, no, I'm a newbie, and
Yeah.
I'm ready to learn.
Right.
So he said, okay, come, let's try you out. And he asked me to play rock.
Okay.
So I was still okay with that because
Right.
I had
Yeah.
heard the music,
Yeah.
So I played some your regular rock,
Yeah.
classic rock.
Yeah.
That time I had taken up a call center that time. So
Okay.
I had taken up a BPO job just
Yeah.
close by next
Yeah.
to Domlo. It's called Circon India Private Limited.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
still remember. So I took that as a mainstream, and then
Yeah.
I wanted to do DJing as a part time.
Yeah.
So that was my idea. He said, okay. He straight away said, I'll pay you 10,000. I said, what? I said, okay, done. So I was wow for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, cigarette sorted, petrol sorted, this sorted, that sorted, some music also sorted,
Yeah.
and some money to spend wherever I want.
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
everything sorted.
Yeah, and it was your first thing, right?
First
So of
thing.
course, it's learning
So
on the job.
regulars used to come, curse me over, saying,
Yeah.
what music you're playing, you have no clue what you're doing, blah,
Right.
blah, blah. All that,
Yeah.
as usual, you
Yeah,
go
yeah,
through.
yeah.
Days passed by, and
Yeah.
then that's when I understood the whole trade.
Exactly.
I understood how this
Yeah.
thing works. And then luckily, opium was next to me.
Huh.
So it took time for me to understand what is
Of
what.
course. Yeah.
And then
yeah.
your as usual Urban Edge, Club X, all
Right,
these boys were
right.
there. I mean, there are Sparks and all that.
Yeah.
So started venturing, going there. Yeah, I just wanted
Yeah.
to see what this music all about and what is that I am missing out. I did some research, went, saw, just learned over time, and I started practicing the same.
Right.
And it worked in my favor.
How did your shift to F-bar shape your career?
So there was, by then I had connected with a lot of DJs,
Right.
a lot of clubs,
Yeah.
Club X, Urban Edge.
Yeah.
And who was the someone came up to me and said, Jasmeet is looking for assistant DJ in this place called F Bar. I said, okay. And then I got his number.
Yeah.
Then I called him. Said,
Yeah.
okay, come over.
And you
to-
had not met Jasmeet
Never,
before this.
never,
You
never.
didn't know who Jasmeet
No, I don't
okay.
know who that guy is.
Okay.
I mean, I've heard the name and all,
Yeah,
but I've never
exactly,
met
but
him
never
because
in
I had never
person.
gone that side of the town
Right,
ever because I
right.
was very busy with Spin and Club X.
Yeah.
I never had to venture that side. So, and yeah, definitely I knew Clement and all these guys by
Right.
then. But I've not, Jasmeet I have not met. So I went to F Bar, met Jasmeet. They said, do you know where Jasmeet is? I am Jasmeet. Said, hi. Deepak was also there.
Right, yeah.
So this was a funny part. I said, we do a trial and all that. We both gave a trial.
Right.
But that time, this was very important to me.
Yeah.
Especially getting my, I had to shift the gears now.
Correct.
I couldn't be somewhere lost. So I said, I either do this or I stop this there.
Yeah.
That was
Got
almost my turning point of my career.
Yeah.
So I did my trials and all that with Jasmeet. He said, okay, I'll let you guys know tomorrow and all that.
Yeah.
And then Jasmeet was very kind enough.
Yeah.
He said, Ganesh, okay, I will take you on board.
Yeah.
And these are the do's and don'ts, etc.
Yeah.
He was very professional, very well thought guy. I mean, he's very organized. He literally polished me. He was the one who gave me that opportunity. He took me from A to Z.
Wow,
like
amazing.
literally completely polished me.
Amazing.
And I learned a lot through crash course also.
Yeah.
Overnight, he decides Friday says, tomorrow you're handling, Saturday I am leaving to Goa. I said, what?
Yeah.
Oh God, that was my first break and I'm playing and I had no clue what I'm going to do. So somehow I handled it and just we knew. I mean, he was more confident on me than I was on myself.
Got it. Yeah.
So that was a good, luckily I had a good mentor, I should say. And definitely Sanjay Mehtani is another chairperson in this. Who really, again, is a sorted out guy. Was the owner of F Bar.
Yeah.
And now Hard Rock, Shiro and a lot of other things.
Yeah.
So again, a long relationship with him as well.
Yeah.
I had my good times there.
Then comes the next shift, wherein you shifted gears and you moved to Mumbai. How did this transition happen?
So there was this club called Athena which opened.
Yeah.
Jasmeet had taken that place up. And
Yeah.
then I used to play there once in a while.
Okay.
But by then I had already moved out of most of the places, including F Bar and all that.
Yeah.
So Jasmeet called me to Athena and I played here and there. One of the managers, Yogesh More, he liked me. He said, I'm planning Mumbai. Are you interested?
Yeah.
I asked Jasmeet, I said, do you think I should take it? He said, yeah, man, if you're up for it, why not?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
That's how it all happened. So then I met the owner, Vikrant Chogle, at Athena itself.
Yeah.
So somehow we connected. We had a good talk and he said, oh, I'm looking forward to see you in Bombay and all that.
Yeah.
So the best part about Bombay is it was very challenging. In fact, this is called Club Privé.
Yeah.
So it was a members club.
Yeah.
So rarely see Indian cars there.
Okay.
So it was filled with bureaucrats. It's filled with cricketers, actors, models.
Amazing.
It was a cream de la cream space and only opened on Friday, Saturday. That's it.
Crazy.
And it was, and there you had to bid a table to get in.
Yeah,
so you have to block it in advance.
Yeah.
So the best part there was I was supposed to play only house music. Just play house music.
Yeah.
What you're doing in Bangalore, just come and repeat that there.
Yeah.
So, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Somehow the best part, because Bombay is again, people are very well traveled.
Yeah.
And I had a good expat crowd there and the music really went well.
Super.
So it was one of the top, I think, third best club in the world during those days.
Yeah.
And I had I had a pride of being a resident there.
Right. Yeah.
Third best club in the world. And then, why not?
Yeah.
And then, music was strictly house, strictly English, no Bollywood, no nonsense. Bombay is like, people know everywhere is Bollywood.
Correct.
So that is Club Privé and that is Bombay for me.
And so your parents were okay with you, like, moving to Bangalore?
Yeah.
They had accepted DJing as a job.
So even before I started my first residentship, I had lost
Oh,
my dad.
okay.
So that is when
Okay.
I took it up so seriously and
Got
started
it.
looking for
Yeah,
jobs.
right,
So
right.
I
Because
think
then the added responsibility.
yes.
Yeah,
So
right.
that is when I started venturing out and to see how to make
Got it.
multiple
Got it.
incomes.
Got it. Yeah.
That's how I ventured out then itself.
Correct. Yeah.
Then I convinced my mom. I
Yeah.
said I would like to explore
Yeah.
this option. I
Yeah.
would like to see if I
Superb.
can take
Superb.
this up
Yeah.
for a time, sometime.
Yeah.
But then somehow survived it for a year or two.
It was how long was the Mumbai stint?
About I think 1.5 year easily. 2 days of work and 6 days or 5 days of partying. It
Partying,
was
yeah,
so
was
much,
too much.
too
Yeah.
much to
Right.
handle. So
Right.
best part is I went to Mumbai drinking Pepsi, Coke,
Yeah.
Coca-Cola, you know.
Yeah.
And
You never
then
used to drink before that.
never. And maybe cigarettes here and
Yeah.
there. I used to
Yeah.
smoke.
Yeah.
Then once I went to Bombay, it changed my whole life. I came back a drunkard. So
But I
that's
think this stint also played a very important part in your life musically because you got to meet Akbar Sami. You connected with all.
in fact,
Yeah.
to be honest, Bombay is a place of connect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. I
Yeah.
met a lot of DJs and all. The best part
Right.
is I got to travel the world. The clientele in Prive was so elite. So
Music
they
and
used to
then
just
take you
parcel me
around.
over
Yeah.
wherever they're going.
Superb.
You know, so hey, come here, I'm in Paris, I'm in here, I'm there. So I
Yeah.
just used to I'm
Yeah.
Morocco, like that. So
Yeah.
that's how it all happened. So
Correct.
I used to travel with them, go play, and so that's
Beautiful.
when that's
Yeah.
that's a lot of
And
exposure I found.
exactly.
Yeah.
How was the transition from the Indian club scene to Casablanca?
Oh, Casablanca was a great segment itself, the international domain of music. That was a unique space. In fact,
And this was right after Mumbai, was it?
yeah, it's just after Mumbai.
Okay, yeah.
So it's a friend of mine from Bangalore only who pushed me there. It was his partner. They were into some other multiple businesses.
Correct.
So he said, "Come, I need to check out."
Yeah.
So his brother had a shack there.
Yeah.
And he had a restaurant in what do you call in Casablanca.
Ah.
And he the main guy whom I was in touch with, he had
Yeah.
a club called G Sound. So it was a
Okay.
proper hardcore nightclub.
Yeah.
So that is when I joined this space, and
Yeah.
we did this Casablanca. There's a music festival which happened, and Claude Schall, your
Yeah.
Buddha Bar pioneer,
Yeah,
the man
yeah.
who made Buddha Bar,
Ah.
was the headliner there. So it was only two of us, him and me. That's
Yeah.
it. It was the festival on the beach. So
Yeah.
first time I'm seeing this, like wow, I'm seeing all crowd in and around, everyone in on the beach and
Yeah.
partying. So that was a very international standard of parties and
Yeah.
all that. That's something I learned a lot over that. Again, the culture, the
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
How people think over this westernized
Right.
culture,
Right.
the music scene.
Yeah.
How do they think? How do they respond? Lots to learn.
And again, it was a very different crowd base, right? Because
Totally.
everyone would come there to just party and have fun.
Totally,
Yeah.
totally, and
Yeah.
it was not the same as when you're doing a residentship. At least you know you're playing for the same people,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
same segment of people.
Yeah.
But then there it was tourists.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
it's like you're going to Goa and just playing
Yeah,
at a shack. It's
correct.
like you don't know who's coming in,
Correct.
who's going out.
Correct.
So it was the same story there,
Yeah.
but that was a little premium side.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of learning. So basically, every day when you're playing, it's a different story there. Place used
Got
to be
it,
always
got
packed.
it.
Like
Yeah.
weekends used to be full there.
Nice.
It was definitely an honor for me because from India, in the entire music festival,
Yeah.
there was a separate representative from a country. There was India and France. So
Yeah.
he comes from there. It was a brilliant.
Amazing. Yeah. So let's take a moment and talk about Studio 54.
Right.
Okay. You created something that was one of the longest running, most successful
Absolutely.
theme nights that I would say. So how did this idea come into
So
your head?
honestly, this was started in Bombay. Studio 54 comes from US with
Yeah.
Sanjay. He bought this. He said, "Why don't you guys do something different?
Yeah.
Why don't you guys throw in this kind of music?" He asked me, "Why don't you go to Bombay, look at this, and let's do this in
Yeah.
Bangalore." I said, "Okay." In fact, he encouraged me to go to Bombay for
Yeah.
2 days. And I saw the restaurant there. So I liked the concept. In fact, I loved it.
Yeah.
I saw the entire Bombay city rocking to that segment of music.
Okay.
Was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was brilliant, and
Yeah.
Shiro definitely tops it all.
Yeah.
With the kind of
Yeah.
space and all that. So again, it was a very nice, matured crowd, which
Yeah.
came, which is where I love to play to matured crowd.
Correct.
Because they knew the music.
Exactly.
You know, that time again, though there was shortfall of technology, people
Yes.
used to know their music.
You're right. Yeah.
So that was something I liked, and I came back to Bangalore and
Yeah.
I said, "Boss, yes, done.
Yeah.
Let's do this in Bangalore."
Exactly.
Friday, we have to give it a difference of what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Correct.
I said,
correct.
why do you want me to continue with what? And then what's the difference?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where the bar was.
Yeah.
So that's my first console where we
Right.
kept one speaker, one
Yeah.
monitor.
Yeah.
Some complaints saying it's too loud. So it was a mix of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then marathon started, and then
Yeah.
slowly, couple of nights, build.
Yeah.
So 4 people became 10, 20, 30. Our legend Sharath Rice comes
Yeah.
on board. Come on, let's do this.
Yeah.
And then it kicks off.
Superb.
From 50, 100 people to 500, 600 people.
Yeah.
It goes ballistic. So
yeah.
that's when it really kicked off. Then
Yeah.
Ivan was again,
Yeah.
he was one
Yeah.
of the iconic Studio
Yeah.
54 DJs
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
used to run Bombay themes. It's the same music, but how you play it. It's
Correct.
nothing new. Which is
Correct.
coming, but how you play it on every month is a challenge, right? I
Exactly.
mean, you can't keep playing the same track
The
back
same
to back.
thing. Then people will know. Becomes
So,
predictable.
And
yeah.
to see again, Bangalore is a handful of people.
Correct.
It's the same segment of people
Yeah.
who come for that
yeah.
music.
Correct.
So it's the vibe what you create. So
Correct.
54 was like a benchmark
Yeah.
in Bangalore Fridays. You have to go
Exactly.
there. But yeah, it was a lot of learning
Yeah.
curve. Even like I said, I will just be all these guys. Even till today, take me to school
Yeah.
when they comes to their music and
Yeah.
their. They're brilliant
Yeah.
artists. So that's how Studio 54 started. Then Sharath came in.
Yeah.
There's a whole team, Don, Sabdar, all
Yeah.
these boys came
Superb,
in.
yeah.
And it was a good team.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
had a right set of
Yeah.
people. Like, I was very clear with the music.
Correct.
So I
Correct.
had a good support system. We tried so many artists and
Right.
we knew what works
Yeah,
for us.
exactly.
Personally, I used to be there
Yeah.
every day.
I know.
I mean, every Friday,
I-
literally to understand what's going on. So it
Yeah.
was my property
Yeah,
kind of a space.
exactly,
It's
yeah.
like, I want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Who's doing what here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
no, that's the only way to run.
and that's why we went for so long. 10,
Yeah.
11 years is
Yeah,
no
not a joke.
And it was the same thing. I mean, if you go there, Friday, it's rocking.
Do you believe that what Shiro did at that point of time created a benchmark in Bangalore's nightlife across
Absolutely.
multiple
Absolutely.
spectrums? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It brought in a lot of outsiders, tourists. It made such an impression across India
Yeah.
that when you come to Bangalore from whichever city, people used to come there
Yeah. Yeah.
for our Sunday brunches and your
Yeah.
Studio 54 nights.
Right.
These
right.
2 days were super. Sunday was commercial, top 40, the commercial era there. So Entertainment 9 happened by chance actually. The billing, when you play, you have to bill and give. There used to be something called as TDS. Those accounts guys you say, no, you'll get it back, file your returns.
Yeah.
Then I met a CA, said, no, you don't have a
Yeah.
GST. I mean, you don't, that
Exactly.
time.
There was no GST.
So,
but yeah.
what is it? Sales tax and service. That
Correct.
tax, what is
Correct.
So which is they said you don't have any of this, so you won't get. So I said no, I want to get
Yeah,
this. Now
yeah,
what do I do?
yeah, yeah.
So because what happened, there was a year-end filing,
Yeah.
and I was asked to pay. I said why?
First you are taking money,
Money
from
from me, and then you're
you're
asking me to pay. So that's when I started calculating, and then I
Yeah.
sat on it, understood what's going on.
Yeah.
Then he said, open a company. That is when
Right.
Entertainment 9 happened,
Got
the
it.
first billing. So
Okay.
basically, he said, whatever happens, bill
Yeah.
from this. So it
Yeah.
was a proprietorship, so it was the same pan and all
Yeah,
that. So
yeah.
he said, if you're getting money in your account,
Correct.
this is the bill you have
Yeah,
to give.
yeah.
Otherwise, there is a TDS,
Perfect.
there'll be taxes.
Streamlined
Yeah.
the whole thing. Huh?
So I said, okay, done.
Okay.
So that is how first entertainment company was formed.
Registered. Yeah. Right.
So that continued. I used to play
Yeah.
here and there.
Yeah.
So don't know what happened. Eventually, I started getting multiple outlets. So for example, Hard
Yeah.
Rock,
Yeah.
Bombay, here,
Yeah.
there. I mean,
Yeah.
Gurgaon, Goa.
Yeah.
A lot of spaces, not only them, and even social happened. So many spaces happened. So what happened is I had good segment of people whom I had met
Yeah.
and who were kind of the key players of these
Yeah.
venues. And then I knew what I wanted to give them there. See, today anybody can open a place. If you don't have the right music, then
Absolutely right.
it'll never function.
Yeah.
Because today entertainment is a prime thing. You can't just say it's just a bonus anymore. Those
Yeah.
days are gone.
Yeah, yeah,
Without
of
entertainment,
course.
there's no bar
And
today.
it's so good that you are saying
Yeah,
this.
absolutely. See, what happens is when you go to a bar, club, anywhere, the loyalty is your food. Be it SLV or the Vidyarthi Bhavan or Shiro
Correct.
or anywhere. So
Correct.
you say, I want to have this.
Yeah.
So you're not going to say, I want to have Smirnoff. Let's
Yeah,
go here.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
so the
exactly.
entertainment becomes a play. Biggest play here.
Correct.
So you need that diversion from
Yeah.
what you're doing, and
Yeah.
then that's when you feel a little detached from what you come there for.
Ex-
So when it came to entertainment, is something outlet needed what?
Yeah.
Because over that period, I had gained a lot of knowledge.
Of
lot
course.
of knowledge.
Yeah.
I had seen different outlets in Bangalore.
Yeah.
I met so many
Yeah.
people. I've done. By then, I must
Yeah.
have done millions of gigs by
Yeah.
then. That's when I started. See, there was that gap. See, what happens is A person will open a new venue, B
Yeah.
person will go there, and
Yeah.
it is not making sense. I had
Of course.
so what I thought where I can bridge the gap.
Yeah.
So that's when I created a
Putting the
team.
right people
Yeah.
for the right
So
venue. Yeah.
that is when Entertainment 9 got into this event. So that's when I become a proper entrepreneur. So where
Yeah.
I remember still, those days I had my Swift car.
Yeah.
I remember I used to start my journey from Banchankri.
Yeah.
From there, go to Indiranagar. From there, go to Whitefield. From there, come to CBD. And then come back home. So I used to do all these roundabouts almost every weekend.
Yeah.
Minimum 200, 250 kilometers around,
Ha.
going here, with
Ha.
multiple pit stops.
Yeah.
There used to be a studio bar,
Yeah.
and there used to be one more bar down.
You used to manage
all
all
this.
these.
So go there, one round, hi, how's
Yeah.
the DJ? Everywhere.
Yeah.
So I used to keep a thorough check on what's
Super.
going on. Yes,
Yeah.
because it was important that you just don't give a product, but you deliver a
Of
product. Right? That was
yeah.
very important. See,
Yeah.
today what happens is most of DJs come as DJs, but they lack direction.
Exactly.
So I go there,
Yeah.
help them out
Yeah.
on that
Yeah.
basis,
Yeah.
and say, okay, change the
Yeah.
music, do
Yeah.
all that. So
Yeah.
and I used to also keep a thorough check with the employees there, basically the managers, the guys.
Yeah.
How's the music scene? How was the last weekend?
Correct.
Etc. etc.
Yeah.
I used to always keep
Got it. You switched,
tab on
yeah.
all this. So like this area wise, I used to go
Yeah.
to all my outlets and come
Yeah.
back, and then eventually that is when I started hiring people because it was too much for me.
Too much for you to.
I can't. I couldn't do
everything.
it all alone. Then that is when music school happened. So one day I met Sean at Hangover Indiranagar. Said, "Baga, what are you doing these days? You're everywhere." I
Yeah.
said, "Yeah, but
Yeah.
also looking at somewhere." Then that's how the whole conversation
Yeah.
started.
Okay. Huh.
So I had a dearth of DJs. When you do a person-driven
Yeah.
business, it's very difficult to hold the
Absolutely,
fort.
because you're relying on people's
People and
mood swings. People's.
the natural calamities. Evening 6 o'clock, I cannot come today. I'm
Yeah.
not well. 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
What happened
yeah.
to 2 o'clock? What happened to
Exactly.
3 o'clock?
Yeah.
All we could have made some money.
Correct.
So the problem
Yeah.
is that segment itself, after a particular point, they are all like that. And then obviously now you have a commitment to deliver.
Of course. Yeah.
So that is when
yeah.
I had a shortfall there. That's when Sean, Clement, I know that they
Yeah.
were opening. So I reached out when we met,
If they
and I
could
reached out
supply,
and I
yeah.
said, why don't we work together?
Correct.
Where I have venues, we have the thing.
Superb.
So
Yeah.
let's do it together. Then that's
Yeah.
what. So
Yeah.
music school is still doing phenomenally well.
Correct.
They're doing
Correct.
pretty well.
So of course.
So basically, Torres, Yankur,
Yeah.
that era, they were really hands-on guys.
Yeah.
So that is when I started taking multiple venues.
Got it. Okay.
Started
Okay.
treating
So with the integration with the music school, I think it brought in like a lot of
lot of
fresh blood
yes,
and
yes,
yeah.
yes, lot of
And it actually set a system in place when you could rotate guys and
yeah. So
Yeah.
advantages I had. So there was what used to happen in my time.
yeah.
There was more demand and less supply
Correct.
of DJs.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
that is when I had to increase the supply.
Yeah.
That's when
yeah.
music school
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
So increase the supply, and
Yeah.
then demand also kept in the same level.
Yeah. Yeah.
It parallelly went.
Superb.
So I had multiple
Yeah.
options. Then
Yeah.
I had multiple guys handling the DJ.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
had taken music school. I
Right.
had taken clubs,
Yeah.
bars, spaces. Now I was managing. Plus I
Yeah.
was doing Studio
Yeah.
54.
Yeah.
Plus I was doing
Yeah.
multiple things. So over a period, I said, now, okay, now I need some peace of mind now.
Yeah.
So literally, it used to happen anywhere. I used to travel like two phones, put it on charge, and just wait for the calls to come in the
Oh,
night. And
man.
that stressful it
Stress,
was.
they're very
Because
yeah.
obviously, I was I enjoyed it, so
Yeah.
I was okay with
Do-
it.
yeah.
But then over a period, I said, okay, now I cannot be everywhere. And I bought systems, I bought
Yeah.
people, I had.
Yeah.
Then over a period, it all subsided.
Yeah.
And then got everything into
Got into a
process and all.
flow
But
and, yeah.
whatever said and done, it's a human-driven
It's
space.
a people yeah, correct.
So
Yeah.
that's where we saw a lot of ups and downs. Some people joined directly
Right.
and all that. So it's
And if
that-
people don't believe in the vision, right, no one's willing to
see,
work
that is the
hard.
problem. They're not looking
Exactly.
at future. You're
Correct.
looking at 1,000 rupees to 2,000 rupees. I'm
Correct.
saying no, look at 10,000 rupees.
Yeah.
They're not looking at that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that was the
Yeah,
little
yeah.
thought process which did never
Correct.
happen with
Yeah.
most of the guys. But whoever did are doing phenomenally well
Exactly.
today. So
Yeah.
that is a
Correct. Correct.
that is a misguided theory in this industry.
See, but I think that some of these things only come with experience. Until they don't go through it themselves.
Experience and thought process mostly.
And
The
you're
whole
right.
thought process. See, for example, if I am taking interviews of a manager or a steward
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
If he says, I got 3,000 there, I'm looking at 4,000, I'll tell him thank you.
Please. Exactly.
If he says, no, I will better your business, I'll do, then I'm interested in a
Exactly.
candidate like
Exactly.
that. Like, he has to throw in a bone.
You're
It cannot
right.
be like, I'm getting there, so I'll make it.
Correct.
What difference is it?
Yeah.
See, again, the generation gap. Like my era, your era,
Yeah.
basically. But this era, Gen
The
is
younger
working
kids,
smarter,
yeah, no,
which is
I
good,
know.
which is
Yeah.
good in a way.
Correct.
And I'm learning from them, no
Yeah.
doubt about it.
Yeah.
Every day we are
Yeah.
adapting to the
Yeah. But
evolution.
then they need to align to the processes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that is when
Yeah.
you become a smarter part.
Yeah.
You become a dangerous mix.
Combo.
Yeah,
Correct.
of both.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
now you are in a process, you have a skill. Now
Exactly.
you're like, wow,
Yeah.
nobody can
Correct.
shake you now.
Do you think Entertainment 9 played a role in shaping the DJ industry in Bangalore?
I rather put it this way. Entertainment 9 definitely created a lot of job opportunity. Created a lot of exposure for
Yeah.
most of the DJs. See what
Yeah.
happened. I mean, my time, I was not given the main DJ console. We had to
Correct.
dust and sweep and
Yeah.
swipe and all that,
Of
and then
course.
we were allowed to play
Of
one
course.
track or the
Yeah,
console.
you're right.
But entertainment gave everybody the opportunity on a platter.
Because I think a lot of the DJs were also taken advantage of by venues.
Yes, we bought.
Yeah.
So that's why I said we bought a lot of systems in place. So
Correct.
see, there were times where venues used to deduct 10% TDS, but then I changed it to 1% or 2%
Yes.
TDS.
Yes.
I bought that change,
Yes.
saying why if you are a contracted person, if you are outsourced service guy, you can still
Exactly.
do 2%.
Exactly.
That was the law. So
Yeah.
I went through those depths
Yeah.
that time, and
Correct.
we realized that okay, we were unnecessarily paying. Unnecessarily getting
Correct.
getting minus for the paycheck.
Yeah. Correct.
So all these things, and also see over a period, I feel it's like this. You can take a camel to water,
Yeah.
and after that it's
Yeah,
left to
exactly.
the camel
Right.
to take
You're
it
right.
ahead.
That initiative has to be on the person
So
as well.
we as a team, as Entertainment 9 and Music School, we've
Yeah.
done I think we have a great legacy. Most of the young DJs who came in those days,
Didn't
they
know how
thought
to
DJing
dress.
is fun.
Exactly.
From appearance to grooming to
talking.
communication.
Yeah, correct.
To what are the segment of music to play. Even
Yeah.
in fact, there are times I remember where we have encouraged DJs to travel across and go see this genres,
Yeah.
go see the music.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I was given that opportunity.
Yeah,
So I said,
correct.
why not them?
Yeah.
I think most of the DJs in my time, I think maybe about few years till 2018 have been a part of us.
Yeah.
So from 2018, we've taken a completely backseat.
Right.
So we've
Yeah.
stopped that complete process
Correct.
of
Correct.
thing.
Yeah.
But still, Entertainment 9 is available in so many other verticals.
course,
So we're
yeah.
doing so many other things. We've taken a backseat completely in terms of DJing contracts and
Contracts, yeah.
programming and all
Yeah.
that. Yes, some friends I personally do it
Yeah.
on a friendship level.
Of course. Okay, and now the next step happened, wherein you worked further towards becoming an entrepreneur, and you finally ended up launching your two places,
Yes.
Because and Gulp. And these are the recent,
Yes. Recent,
updates.
yeah.
So how did this happen now?
So COVID was a big hit for
Okay.
all of us
Right.
in the hospitality
Right.
industry.
Yeah.
Especially, see what happened is though Entertainment 9 looked nice from outside, there was a lot of stress in terms of payments. So
Yes.
many defaulters in the industry.
And the operating.
And
yeah,
so one
challenges,
thing about
yeah.
Entertainment 9, what we bought
Yeah.
on track is
Yeah.
whoever pays or not,
Yes.
Entertainment 9
Will
pays.
pay.
So
Correct.
most of them we had that
Correct.
covered.
Correct.
We ensured that thing is
Yeah.
here. But Entertainment 9 could do it to an extent. Now COVID came.
Yeah.
So we were also on that same, okay, chalo, if not
You're
today,
right.
tomorrow it will come.
Right.
So it is business, right?
Yeah.
You treat it like a business. Okay,
Yeah.
you can't just end business overnight.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then COVID was the biggest downfall for all of us in the
Yeah,
hospitality.
correct. Right.
I mean, that was the only way of
Yeah.
income.
Yeah.
So literally everything
And all
else had
these
stopped.
guys who had owed payments backed out at that point of time. They took a step.
I mean, they just shut shop.
Crazy.
Most
Yeah.
of them even washed their hands saying, we don't know where they still owe money,
Correct.
and they
Correct.
make
Correct.
reasons to pay up and all
Yeah.
that. There was a lot of money which
Yeah.
I have still not received, and
Yeah.
I kept chasing, and
Yeah.
I also had to owe to a lot of these guys.
Got it.
And somehow by God's blessing, here and there, I pulled some cash and I
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
settled most of them,
Yeah.
whoever I could.
Yeah.
But then there were such burdens that we could not still
Correct.
recede to because we are not paid. And
Yeah.
there's only so much one person can do. Then eventually going past this, so there was this thought during my 2015, 16 onwards,
Yeah.
that I'll open something on my own. It started with Sean and Clement. We said we'll
Yeah.
open. Now that we know we are doing this, we should only open.
Yeah.
So the best advantage is, see, when I was handling so many outlets,
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen businesses flourish.
Yeah.
I'd seen
Yeah.
the complete
Yeah.
graph of
Superb.
everything. Beat the marketing, beat the kitchen, beat the bar. So literally I was one in everywhere. So
Yeah.
I have seen every bits of every space.
Yeah.
What was the
Yeah.
reason for failure?
Yeah. Yeah.
What could have done better that that place could have done well, etc., etc. Like this.
Yeah.
So over a period, I accumulated so much of knowledge,
Right.
and I knew what was right and what was wrong. There's so much of knowledge that you gather over a period,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
And like this, I've seen a lot of spaces,
Yeah.
and what made the space work.
Yeah.
What is USP? What is kitchen? What is
Yeah.
bar? So I've been learning
Yeah.
spree. The only thing is I've not done it myself then, but I had accumulated so much of knowledge, saying, oh, this what happens, this is
Yeah.
how, etc., etc. Everything
Yeah.
A to Z.
Yeah.
So luckily, I had right people also who I was talking to. It so happened that I was on the cards to open a venue where me, Clement, Sean. So
Yeah.
we had almost bottomed down to open an outlet with Sharat VRO. So we were supposed to open their
Wow.
second
Okay.
outlet after Hangover. It was
Okay. Huh.
exactly opposite to Kormangala police station.
Right.
So I had got the land deal,
Yeah.
and unfortunately it didn't happen because
Yeah.
the land was litigated
Litigated.
and
Yeah.
so many issues.
Yeah.
But we had at least approached that.
Okay.
So we had gone
Yeah.
so far. So
Yeah.
we had
Yeah.
gone, documentation and talks are going.
Superb.
All that
Okay.
had taken
Yeah. Yeah.
taken
Yeah.
a shape. So that is when we knew it
Yeah.
is going somewhere. So that didn't happen. It
Yeah.
fizzled out.
Yeah.
And then there was this bar I was handling called Harry's on 80 feet road.
Yeah,
Imanagar.
right,
So
yeah.
Harish like is a very dear friend of mine.
Huh. Huh.
So literally used to treat me like his
Yeah.
brother. So he said, why don't you take up ground floor and you run it?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
tell me I'll put some money on renovation, you run
Yeah.
it. So Sean and me had gone there.
Huh.
So we looked at it.
Huh.
Something went off, maybe
Yeah.
renovation time or something like
Yeah.
that. And we said we'll come back,
Yeah.
and
Got
that time
it.
there was pockets were not that big.
Yeah.
So we said
Yeah.
okay, we'll come
Yeah.
back. So by then I had got this in my mind saying we are ready now.
Of course.
And then eventually I got out of music school for various reasons
Yeah.
because I had so many things going on.
Correct.
So I said I
Yeah.
have to focus on one thing. So I wanted to open a coastal cuisine restaurant that time on
Okay.
80 feet road.
Oh.
I'd seen the space and all
Yeah.
that. Somewhere down the line, I lost my hopes.
Okay.
Saying, what will happen if anything goes wrong? I
Right.
mean, who's going to be
And
responsible
this
for
was post-COVID, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Pre-COVID. Huh.
what
Okay.
will
Huh.
happen if anything goes wrong?
Yeah.
Who's going to support so many people? Who will be
Right.
employed?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that came
Yeah.
into my mind. I
Yeah.
was bothered about
Correct.
others who's
Correct.
joining their
Correct. Correct.
employees.
Correct.
So for a minute, I took a step back. I said, let me think this over. And then I topped the plan. I
Yeah.
said, this is not happening.
Yeah.
By then, I had my entire Entertainment 9 team do research on that.
Yeah.
I used to literally send them to every restaurant,
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
taste that,
Yeah.
get me the
Yeah.
bill. So I used
Yeah.
to do a lot of research. So
Superb.
there
Yeah.
is something called as canvas theory. Have you heard about
Yeah.
it? The lean canvas.
No.
Basically you need to answer these questions. Why
Got
you
it.
want to start?
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah.
making a difference? Exactly. Opening a restaurant,
Is
there are million
yeah,
reasons.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
is it the right reason? No,
Correct.
I like food. I like to cook in my kitchen. No, those are not
Yeah,
the reasons.
exactly.
These are all eventually they'll bleed.
Correct.
But these things has to be answered so well so that you know what is the right product you're
Exactly.
actually
And that-
proposing in the market.
That ends up shaping your mission statement, your
Absolutely.
core values.
Because I know to
Exactly.
cook sushi well, I can't go give it
Correct.
there. The reasons has to be right.
Yeah.
And products has to be right. Everything
Yeah.
matters. Oh, these were all the things which came into my mind, and then
Huh.
I started working towards that.
Okay.
Then met couple of partners
Yeah.
who were also in the same
Yeah.
mind frame, saying,
Yeah.
"Come, let's do."
Yeah.
So we opened one called
Hmm.
Mycos. 4-5 of us just jumped. That deal happened to be my club member. So one day I had gone to that place 2 years before when they had just taken it up. So
Yes.
I had me with a couple of club members. Okay, Ganesh, why
Yeah.
don't you come? So we
Yeah.
went there, have a couple of drinks with them.
Yeah.
And then we said, okay, I'll help you out. And I gave some connects and
Yeah.
that was done.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
high tide at that.
Sorry to interrupt, but I believe that whatever they had opened in that place before never worked. And you picked up a place which was like, completely dead. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I
Everybody
know.
were like, really? Are
Yeah,
you sure?
yeah.
I'm like,
But if you
yeah.
think about it, see that's a prime stretch. You have like Christ, which is nearby, right?
No,
So
see, more
yeah,
exactly more than it,
yeah,
we are all born brought up that side. Even though JP Nagar is the space,
correct.
that
The
side of the town
Vanagar,
there's
there's
nothing,
nothing, and I
nothing.
always used to think why aren't places coming up on this?
And
Yeah,
this came up to me in a very good deal. So
yeah,
he's a very dear friend of
yeah.
mine. We are still in good.
Great.
We are in partnerships, looking for more spaces.
Yeah,
He said, Ganesh, I can't run this anymore. I am
yeah,
really done. Do you
yeah,
want to take it up? I said, yeah, done.
yeah,
I said I was looking and this
yeah,
happened. So it was a
yeah,
destiny. It just fell in my lap.
yeah,
So I was
yeah,
looking,
yeah.
and then this came to me.
Superb.
So overnight, me and a couple of partners came, saw it, and 2 days we closed it.
Yeah,
And from
yeah,
there, the journey of Mycos
yeah,
began.
yeah,
So Mycos again was it's a different thought process. There was
yeah.
no proper architect for this. It's just we decided.
Crazy,
So
crazy.
if you
Yeah,
go look at there, it's
yeah,
a mix and match of multiple
yeah,
heads
yeah,
saying we'll do this, we'll do
yeah,
that. From the tiling, we went to the tile, said get this
yeah,
tile.
yeah,
So literally from
yeah,
the trials to the opening inside the
yeah,
kitchen. I mean, there was a new vertical of
yeah.
learning.
Of
Me and
course.
food were like two
Yeah,
extremes, but then I know
yeah,
what goes into my
yeah,
kitchen now. So got into the kitchen
yeah.
literally. And then eventually,
Huh,
after Mikos was done, I
huh,
jumped into Gulp.
huh,
Um,
huh, huh, huh.
that's how Gulp
Okay.
happened.
It's,
And
yeah,
basically, we changed the cuisine and
yeah.
entertainment, of course. So the
Correct.
reason Gulp was very clear. We wanted to make, see, it was placed in such a geographical location that Western is no there. And if you, it's a very orthodox kind of area. And it's a very, that south segment, that side
Yeah,
is very orthodox. So if I want to have a drink or a thing, I know what kind of food I can expect there.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
I will not go all the way to CBD just to have one, two
yeah.
sushis and come back.
Correct,
So
correct.
I would try to see what's best available there. Even when you take Swiggy or something, when you
Yeah,
want to order food, either you look for Meghna's, yeah, Empire or
yeah,
Nagarjuna. So that's why we changed. That's how we changed Gulp. Just guess. If you
yeah,
go there, you sit on a normal day, you'll hear
yeah.
Kannada music in the background.
Nice.
And Nati style food,
Yeah.
local food,
Yeah,
simple
yeah,
food,
yeah.
comfort food.
Correct.
What people can understand and
Correct.
appreciate. Today, especially the industry is taken post COVID has come to the state now where people hardly cook at home.
Yeah.
So that is all the changes we brought in, and that's how we have two prominent outlets down south.
Superb.
One is a very world cuisine, and one is a regional south cuisine.
So see, so the most beautiful part that I feel about this is that, with your musical experience, along the way it grew to an entrepreneurship and then business side of it. And now you are like delivering the complete 360-degree vision of a
Absolutely,
venue the way you want to, with the music, with
absolutely,
your experience. There's your stamp on it.
absolutely.
And like most of the new places that are opening nowadays, when we get called to some venues or like by owners for programming their venues and all, we realize that there's such a big disconnect because people firstly don't understand what music they
What
want, right?
works?
And they haven't done their research. And when we tell them, and we tell them to try and sustain with concepts for a while before it starts clicking, people don't want to invest in that vision. So how did you interface with Pravesh Bhatt for the first time?
So this is another long story. I'll cut short.
Okay, yeah.
So Pravesh came from Bombay to Shiro. I mean, he joined us. He was in Henry Thames before in Bombay.
Okay,
That was
okay.
his place where he was working.
Yeah,
And then he came as a GM to Shiro, Bangalore.
Bangalore.
So our man comes with a paper, pen, diary, like
Yeah.
a proper, and comes with that whole, like
His
a
swag, his
with a
appearance. Yeah, yeah,
suit and all.
yeah, yeah,
So we also wanted to see how far this is going.
yeah.
But he is a fast learner. The way he thinks, the way he's innovative, very
Yeah,
innovative, and he
yeah.
makes. He's a great leader personality.
Correct. Yeah.
So he came in. He took a little while to fix things, but
Yeah.
then he made smart moves. He sat and first observed before making any solutions or
Yeah.
suggestions. So like that. So
Yeah.
basically, when he came to Bangalore, he was a kind of a loner. So
Okay.
nobody
Yeah.
used to help him.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
used to, or
Yeah.
there was some disconnect.
Yeah.
So he never used to get support. So I was one of those people where I
Yeah.
said, "Come, let me know what you want.
Yeah.
I'll take you around Bangalore."
Yeah.
It started off there,
Yeah.
and we have a long journey from since
Yeah.
then. And then came your which is that Big Brewski Sarjapur,
Yes.
where
Yes.
I met Ajay Goda, and
Yeah.
there was a situation there.
Yeah.
So it all started there.
Yeah.
And then there was this, he pulled me to this place called High Ultra Lounge.
Yes.
He was
Yeah.
the director of operations there.
Yeah.
They went to social. So we
Superb.
had a good
Working.
working combination. We used to deliver, and then
Correct.
day in day out, like Pravesh was,
Yeah.
like I said, he was one guy. I used to literally see him the whole. So I love. So I came up and I said I when I started doing my DJing and all that.
Yeah.
I used to love emails and processes,
Yeah.
Hierarchies.
Yeah.
I mean, corporate system.
Yeah.
Saying, why can't we do it?
Yeah.
I mean, why is that professionals are saying we can't send an email, we can't get an email? Why can't we have documentation?
Yeah.
That is why we
You're
are still
right.
running
You're
behind.
right.
And if
Correct.
I do wrong, he can also take it
Correct.
against, whatever,
Yeah.
vice
Correct.
versa.
Correct.
So that's something
Yeah.
I learned and
Yeah.
learned and learned. And then
Yeah.
I bought those processes in my own
Yeah.
businesses.
Exactly. Yeah.
Systems,
Yes.
decorums,
Yes.
discipline.
Yeah.
So he was very focused guy
Yeah.
and hard worker.
Yeah.
Hours together, like he goes morning 7 o'clock, he'll come out night 4, next day morning
Yeah.
4. Very hard working.
Yeah.
So like that, I've come. I mean, I've grown up with all these guys.
Yeah.
So my
Yeah.
life in this industry was with those good legendary guys.
Yes.
Pravesh is one mentor I
Yeah.
can talk about, but there are so many which
Yeah.
I also had great times that I shared,
Yeah.
and they've also really added a lot into my career. I mean, in my industry thought process.
You have mastered multiple genres. Okay. Retro, hip hop, house, and Bollywood. Which of these genres comes naturally to you, and what's your most favorite?
I love retro music,
Yeah,
so I think I should stick to retro.
Super. Okay, so let's go back a bit to your college days. Okay, we know that you have been a big bike and car lover. In college, you are known for doing wheelies on your RX. So tell us about that.
Nothing like that. So I remember buying Endura, which was a race bike. So that was what I was known for, and then because I bought that bike, everybody thought I am into all this.
Yeah. Okay. How were you as a BVM student? Were you the studious type?
I hardly went to college. Hardly went. It never made sense. So, but I was there for exams, and I used to come out with flying colors. Don't ask how. So I did my BBM. That's about it. Teachers knew me. I used to come in the start and the end.
Yeah. Tell us about your first car, the Maruti 800, and the memories that you had with it.
So, it was 800. My first Maruti 800 was funded by Sanjay, my FBAR.
Okay, yeah.
So I still remember I asked him for an advance.
Yeah.
I went up to him. I said, boss, I'm having a trouble traveling during rains and all that.
Yeah.
And every time I'm ending up late and getting cut for every month's salary.
Yeah.
Can you please help me out? I want to buy a small car just to transport myself.
Yeah.
I said, how much do you need? So I said, maybe about 25,000-30,000 for a down payment. And then eventually I paid. Okay, call me tomorrow and meet me. The next day he called me. I'm in Oberoi at around 12 o'clock. You come and take. So I go there. He gives me 50K.
Okay.
So I take it. All the best. So I said, boss, you take it out from my salary. And I don't think till today is even taken a penny out of that.
Yeah.
So that was how my first car happened.
Yeah.
For me, it was more of a purpose because in the night I still remember.
Yeah.
It was very cold in the nights.
Yeah.
So I remember wrapping papers. There was quite a distance to cover in the night.
Yeah.
And it was cold and how much of sweaters, it was all, it used to be bulky to carry. And then you're carrying case logics. So that's how my first car happened.
For that you took your safari to Nagarhole once, and can you tell us what happened there?
Oh, that's another story to laugh about. So 3-4 of us left overnight, a few drinks. We said we'll go to Nagarhole, we'll party it out and come back another day or two. We'll do the safari and all that. We'll go in the night so that we get to see the animals in the morning. So crazy about all that.
Yeah.
So we left overnight. We left, and then while returning back, the car broke down in between the forest.
Yeah.
And first car broke down. We thought it's something basic. We heard some loud noise, thud noise in the car when it stopped. So slowly we somehow dragged it to a nearest mechanic shop. That fellow, I don't know what he thought about the car. He literally pulled out every part in the car. It was a mess. And he just pulled out the carburetors and all without Safari at that time had come to a certain state where some technology was there.
Right,
This
yeah.
fellow just treated it like some old ambassador
Yeah.
car. He pulled out everything,
Yeah.
pulled the pistons and all out. He
Yeah.
was the only hope.
Right.
And then that scene was so bad, and I
Yeah.
had to send my friends by bus or something,
Uh-huh.
and then I had to tow it all the way to Mysore.
Okay.
Our cars, it was a nightmare. Then came back by bus. So the drunk nights, drunk plans are not a good
Yeah.
plan.
But how did the long hair idea come into play?
It was just I wanted to have a new
Look.
look.
New outlook.
Yeah, so I had carried for almost what 6,
I
8
know.
years. So there was, I think 0G times I had long
Yeah,
hair.
correct.
I think after that, when I stopped playing Bollywood, I think it was just a new. So I
correct.
think eventually I got bored. I said, okay, let's try a new look. So
Right.
then I wanted a beard.
Yeah.
Then I said, beard doesn't look good. Then with long hair, I look like a junkie. So
Yeah.
I said, no, something has to change.
Yeah.
And the next year, I said, okay, there's a new look.
Are we going to see the long hair, Ganesh? Come on.
Done. Done. No time for all that now.
If you could give 20-year-old Ganesh one piece of advice, what would it be?
It's a tricky question. Value money, value where you are. Don't let the time pass by.
Okay, at that point of time, you probably valued it a little less.
Lesser, yeah. No, for me, 20 years, I didn't get opportunity to enjoy like others. That is what I meant here.
Yeah.
Because at my age, I was working on it. That's what I feel at my age I did. I mean, now in this generation, nobody does it. I really worked very hard those days.
Correct.
And I value them.
What are some challenges you have faced in the restaurant business that you have never faced when?
See, nothing new. See, the issues today, what is there in the industry is nothing new. Firstly, you have a disease of one disease called employees enrollment.
Yeah.
So nobody stays. There's no loyalty.
Yeah.
So the biggest challenge I come across is building up a team.
Right.
Right.
Correct.
I mean, for example. I take time to train them, and then eventually over 3 months, one guy loses or leaves. It's very difficult to hold it.
Of course.
So again, I have to get a new person, again retrain, and because of this guy, the other guys are lacking. So that's the only thing. Otherwise, it's a fair business.
Do you have any preset rituals that you perform before going on the players? Like, or do you have any
Nothing like that. I just have 2 drinks. I just fix myself.
Okay. So we'll do a rapid fire. Okay. What's the first song that you ever played as a DJ?
Remember?
Okay.
Told.
TGIF, FBAR or 0G? Which place would you pick out of these?
I would suggest all 3 had different experiences.
Yeah.
So each one has been different.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed all 3.
Yeah. What's the craziest thing you have ever seen in a nightclub?
Oh, this is same people with new people.
Okay. Bollywood or house? If you had to play only one genre forever, what would it be?
If I want to make money, I would still play Bollywood. If I want to feed my soul, house. For sure.
What's your guilty pleasure song that you secretly love?
So, Oh Lamhe, that time was a big,
big.
I was a big fan of that track. In fact, I remember recording it 4-5 times and playing the same thing back to back in my car.
Which is the most legendary club that you have ever played at?
Legendary club, Morocco, G-Sound.
Morocco,
I mean, that was the oldest clubs, but again, Privé is again a legendary club. FBAR again. I mean, so each one, each one has done its time.
So as a DJ, is there any particular ritual that you follow in organizing your music or things like that?
Of course, doing your homework is very, very important.
Right.
I mean, setting up your music, putting your music together, to even what type of crowd you're catering to.
And finally, I think what's one piece of advice you would like to give for all the upcoming DJs?
I have no words. They have it all.
See, because I think the most crucial and the most important part is, Ganesh, that you have broken stereotypes, like from just being a DJ to being a very successful businessman And like, of course, everyone has their own struggles, right? But what I've always admired about you is that you have gone there and you have got it, and you have broken boundaries, you have broken barriers. I'm so happy, right, to see that, because there are very few people who do it. I want people to be very inspired when they listen to this podcast. Yeah.
See, I honestly at this stage, for the youngsters who's in this era,
Yeah.
their thought process is very different. Even if I say something, it will not apply to them
Apply. Yeah.
because it's different now.
Right.
Like before, I used to wait for someone to come from London or US or someone to get a
Yeah.
track.
Yeah.
But now you have everything online.
Yeah.
A customer
Exactly.
will tell you what to
Yeah.
play. So
Correct.
it's different now.
Correct.
So honestly, there is nothing I can really say which is worth that. So look at, if I say, for example, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if I say, treat your dance floor, for example, warm up DJ.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you tell them?
Yeah. But if there's any advice that you'd like to give to someone who's like looking at transitioning from, see, because passion is great, but passion needs to pay the bills, right? And like there are a lot of DJs, I think, who are struggling on this aspect, wherein they don't know how to convert their passion into a business and sustain with it.
See, widely it cannot be accepted.
Right.
Because I had the advantage of so many outlets, so I could play around. For a single guy to approach one club and to put his terms,
Yeah.
I mean, he should
Right.
be someone in the industry.
Right.
So that's what, see, today's thing and what we did back then is two very entirely different. So for a
Yeah.
guy walking up to Kormangla, he'll say Monday here, Tuesday there, Wednesday here.
Yeah.
But we would not do that. We will say we'll take one Wednesday and we'll build that, right?
Yeah.
That's the
Correct. That's how
concept
we- yeah,
we look
correct.
at. But
Correct.
their thought process is different.
Correct.
Like, why give it to one person? Give it to 10 people.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
think, no, we'll build a property, have 10 people there.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, if I say something, it will not make sense. One, and it
Yeah.
does not do justice.
Yeah.
See, but for example, if one person wants to, if I say, no, you guys have to have,
Yeah.
you guys have terms and conditions in place.
Yeah.
If not him, there's another guy taking
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
Nothing
yeah.
will apply
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
I would just say enjoy the show. That's it.
Super.
Yeah.
Okay, so ladies and gents, so that's it on episode number 6. Ganesh, it was such a pleasure to have
Thank
you.
you.
And
It
we
was
had such
super
an
fun.
amazing
Yeah,
chat.
it was fun.
You
Yeah.
know, and we go a long way back, and I'm very inspired every time I
Long
meet
way
you.
back as in friends.
Yeah,
not
as
long
friends.
way back.
So yeah, stay tuned to the Vic Fix. We have a lot more coming up. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
let's
thank
have a big
you.
shout out to this guy and keep rocking. You guys are doing a fantastic job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.